It started with a scream that wasn't human and didn't stop at death. The wind over the ridge carried a low, vibrating growl so deep it made the pine needles tremble. No birds, no bugs, no movement, just silence. And that sound like a giant exhaling rage. They called the place Red Hollow now. The locals never used to, but after what the forensics team found in that shallow ravine 2 summers ago, names changed. That summer, 7 bodies were recovered, what was left of them. They'd been torn apart. Some blamed a rogue bear, some an escaped wolf hybrid. But those who knew better, they whispered something else. They said the feud had reignited. The feud between those who howl at the moon and those who howl beneath it. A burned journal was found clutched in one victim's hand, half pulp, half soaked in blood. The only legible page read, "The pact is broken. The Red Howl has returned. They're both here, and they still remember." The video opens over grainy forest footage, night vision, shaky hands, fear-laced breathing. A single flash of red eyes in the trees too high to be a wolf, too narrow to be a bear. Then a scream, guttural and cut short. Smash cut. A map of North America lights up, dots representing werewolf legends in silver, dogman sightings in crimson. Where they overlap, that's where the stories get bloody. The werewolf has always been a creature of transformation, a cursed human at war with their own nature. Across Romanian folk tales, Norse berserkers and French loup-garou legends, they were lone creatures, turned beasts by the moon's pull or blood guilt. But somewhere along the way, the myth changed. In North America, the werewolf became a pack hunter, a beast bound not by loneliness, but by loyalty. They adapted, they formed hierarchies, they remembered their humanity just enough to organize and defend. But what happens when a pack strays into a territory already marked? That's where the Dogman comes in. Michigan, Wisconsin, West Virginia, Bray Road, Elkhorn. The sightings were always similar: upright canine, 7 feet tall, yellow eyes, shoulders like a linebacker, breath like wet rot. But here's the catch: it doesn't transform. The Dogman is no cursed human. It's not a man at all. It doesn't need the moon. It's territorial, it's primal, and it never forgets a threat. So when the werewolves migrated eastward, drawn by a dying alpha's final howl to claim the ancient territory of Red Hollow, they weren't just stepping into new land. They were stepping into someone else's claim. The claws came out, the howls answered, the blood spilled again. And for the first time in over 200 years, the Red Howl Pact was broken. In a recovered trail cam photo, partially censored by local authorities, 2 blurred figures face each other, one crouched, hunched forward, midshift bones stretching, snout elongating, the other, taller, unmoving, watching, waiting. This wasn't a random clash of cryptids, this was a war resumed. Drop A if you run with the pack, drop A if you stand your ground in the dark. Whose side are you on? They said it was a wolf attack, but wolves don't leave claw marks 8 feet off the ground. Maya Tran had been off the grid for 3 years. No phone, no posts, no goodbye. Just going like a shadow erased by moonlight. She was one of the 7 survivors of the original Red Hollow expedition. The others were found, what was left of them, but not Maya. Until tonight, her voice came through on a ranger's emergency band, fragmented, staggy, laced with something like panic or hunger. He's awake again. It's howling inside. Don't come here. Don't. Then static. Then a sound that didn't belong on a radio frequency. A low growl that vibrated through the speakers like it was alive. We cut to Ranger Elias Morrow, the only responder who answered that call, a local former vet, eyes like a man who'd seen too much and said too little. He recognized Maya's voice, and he recognized the place she was calling from. The old quarry ridge, right where the Red Hollow meets the forest border. No one goes up there anymore, he says, loading a flashlight and a revolver. Not after what we found in 25. He never finishes the sentence. The woods are dead silent when he arrives. No crickets, no wind, just the occasional snap of twigs, sharp, too rhythmic, like something walking on 2 legs that shouldn't be. He finds her campsite, empty tent, torn boots, and a symbol scratched into the rock beside the fire pit. A paw print bisected by a crescent moon, surrounded by 4 claw marks, each mark facing outward, a warning or a promise. The claw marks aren't human, they're not wolf either. They're longer, deeper, cleaner. Something watching. Then, just beyond the fire pit, Elias finds her jacket. It's soaked, still warm, inside the pocket. A photograph, faded, cracked, a group photo from 2022. 7 people, Maya front and center, smiling hand on someone's shoulder. The man beside her is scratched out with a black pen, not just crossed out, obliterated. Next to the photo, a torn journal page. He shifted first, under the wrong moon. It wasn't supposed to happen like that. The Dogman didn't kill him. I did. I think I did. This is the first sign that the curse may not be as simple as bloodlines or territorial clashes. There's something else now. A trigger, a corruption, a reason why Maya left hand, why she never came back at base. Elias reviews the ranger cam footage from the night of Maya's call at 2:13 a.m. The tree line bends, not sways, bends like something heavy is pushing through from inside. A shape crosses into frame, tall, upright, snout lifted to sniff the air. It stops, snaps its head to stare directly into the lens. The video feed cuts out with a high-pitched audio spike, what experts later called a compressed howl. No animal makes that sound, at least. No animal yet catalogued. Would you forgive someone who vanished covered in blood? Maya's final line echoes in voiceover as the screen fades to black. Then whoomp, a single sharp howl, distant, not alone, asterisk. They said the curse only passed through bites. But what if it passed through guilt? Elias doesn't sleep. He hasn't since that night in the woods. The howl is stuck in his head not as memory, but as something vibrating inside him, like a second heartbeat behind his ribs, like a voice under his breath. The next morning, he tries to rationalize it. Wildlife, audio feedback, radio glitch. But when he lifts his shirt, 4 parallel gashes stretch across his side. Not deep, raw, fresh, healing, wrong. The kind of wounds no branch could make. The kind that seemed to burn under moonlight. He didn't fall. He doesn't remember bleeding, but he remembers standing near Maya's jacket, and something standing behind him in the dark. He opens the photo again. The man scratched out, now more visible. Half his face is still legible beneath the ink. Strong jaw, broad nose, eyes too light to be natural. Then Elias remembers. The man's name was Ronan Vela, local with a history of unprovoked violence and a deep obsession with forest lore. He disappeared in 2022, reported missing during the first Red Hollow expedition. The one Maya survived. The last report filed against him was from Maya herself. He changed, not into a monster, into something angry, something territorial. He said he wasn't afraid of the dogmen. He said the dogmen should be afraid of him. Elias returns to the burn site by nightfall. This time he doesn't bring a flashlight. Just a flask of silver-laced bourbon and a map drawn from old ranger logs, places where claw marks were found, high in the trees. He doesn't need the map. He can feel where to go. His hands are shaking. His breath fogs unnaturally thick. His nails itch, ache, elongate under the full moonlight. He collapses near the ritual stone's ancient markers scratched, with both curved lunar glyphs and angular claw-like slashes. His fingers flex, crack, split. His thumb bends backward, first snaps like a dry twig. The bones in his wrist begin to rotate inside the skin like something trying to tear its way out. His breathing becomes erratic, snout pushing forward, gums receding as fangs emerge like splinters. He screams, but it comes out as a howl. Asterisk, his mind floods with something older than memory, the pact, the howl, the betrayal. Ronan wasn't just cursed, he chose the shift. And Maya didn't run because she was afraid of the dogman. She ran because she saw what Ronan became, and what he wanted to awaken. Some secrets claw their way back out. Share, if this one hit you. Elias wakes up covered in leaves, mud, and blood. None of it his. Around him, silence. No animal calls, no wind. He checks his hands. Human again, shaking. No wounds, no claws, but under his fingernails, fur, coarse, dark, smells like iron and rot. He looks up at the tree's branches, broken in a circular pattern, like something was hunting and moving fast. He remembers nothing after the scream, but he feels stronger, hungrier, and he knows he's not alone anymore. Back at the station, the camera feed glitches again. This time, it shows a figure standing over the ritual stones. Not Elias. Taller, thicker, upright. The dogman. It sniffs the air once, then turns its head sharply toward the camera, and smiles. Betrayal is older than the curse. It is the curse. There's a stone out in Red Hollow called the Witness. No one carved it, no one placed it. It's just their tall, crooked spire of obsidian black rock veined with red iron that gleams when the moon is full. Local legends say it's a scar from a fallen god's fang, but the old journals buried deep in the whispering archives tell a different story. It's where the Red Howl Pact was made, and where it was first broken. Ranger Elias, haunted, still recovering, returns to the site, this time armed not with weapons, but knowledge. Maya's final note had more than guilt in its ink. It referenced an artifact, the binding glyph, a symbol older than lichen lore, drawn in crescent and claw. The glyph was carved onto the witness stone, not visible in daylight, but under a full moon. It glows with the pulse of buried memories. When Elias touches it, visions crash into him. Not dreams, memories. A tribal circle of 13 men and women, some wearing wolf pelts, others with the skeletal masks of hounds. The two sides kneel before the witness stone, each offering a heart freshly taken, still warm, a pact to end the bloodshed between their kind. In exchange, they bound their rage to the moon, bound their territory with glyphs, agreed never to cross certain borders, never to shift without consent of the pact. The dogmen agreed, the werewolves agreed, but one did not. His name wasn't Ronan back then, but his face was the same. He was a riftbreaker, a werewolf who saw the pact as weakness, who believed the dogmen were liars, hoarding ancient lands and hunting grounds. He broke the pact. He killed a dogman alpha in the dead of night and blamed it on a human. That murder shattered the glyph's hold. It reignited the feud, and the curse became generational, not a condition, but an inheritance. Elias gasps and pulls away from the stone. His hands are bleeding. The glyph is gone, not faded, burned away from contact. He hears footsteps, but not from the ground, from the trees. Branches creak under impossible weight. Bark falls, a figure lands in front of him, silent and massive, the dogman, yellow eyes, not snarling, just watching. Elias doesn't run. Instead, he raises his bloodied palm and whispers, "I know what happened." The dogman cocks its head, sniffs. It does not attack. It nods, then turns and walks into the forest. The truth. The dogmen never reignited the war. The werewolves did. One of them broke the pact for power, and now Elias carries that same bloodline. The curse is in him. The guilt is in him. The war is his to end or continue. Would you betray one? To save many, you can only bury a blood feud for so long. Before it digs its way out, the air shifts. The glyph's burn still sears Elias's palm. The pain alive like a warning bell in his veins. Somewhere deep in Red Hollow, a howl rips the night in half. Not a werewolf's, not even the dogman's. This one is different, deeper, older. It vibrates like thunder and echoes back from every tree, as if the forest itself remembers the war. The red howl has returned, and it's calling them all back. We cut to a satellite scan overlay of the hollow heat signatures moving in from every direction. Fast, non-human, some upright, some on all fours, dozens. The dogmen are converging, and the werewolves, they're already inside the perimeter, not organized, not waiting, just hunting. A lone cryptid investigator named Dana Rice, live streaming from her van at the edge of the woods, catches the first signs. There's something in the trees. I swear, I saw two pairs of eyes, one tall, one crouched, like they were stalking each other, or maybe stalking me. She turns the camera, static flickers, and behind her, through the window, a blur of fur and teeth slams into the side of her van. Screams. Then black. Elias runs. He doesn't remember deciding to. He just runs. The glyph burn pulses. It's guiding him not away from danger, but into it, toward the witness stone, toward the battle. He finds them at the clearing. Two werewolves locked in savage combat, one with silver-gray fur and scars like clawed tattoos, the other jet black with glowing orange eyes. Neither speaks. They just tear at each other like only brothers with betrayal between them can. Beyond them, three dogmen emerge from the tree-line, silent, stalking. Patient. They don't charge. They observe, because this isn't an ambush, it's an execution. One of the werewolves falls, neck broken in one swift, clean twist. The other lunges at Elias, wild-eyed, blood-drunk. "You brought them. You betrayed us." Before the beast can strike, a dogman lunges not at Elias, but at the werewolf, tackles it, drives it into the ground. A bone crunch. Silence. The dogmen turn toward Elias again, but this time, they don't attack. They kneel. The glyph on his hand begins to pulse visibly, like something under the skin trying to claw free. Elias drops to one knee, breath hitching, body shaking. Something inside him is howling, not from fear, from recognition. He's not just cursed, he's the bloodline that broke the pact. He's the one who must restore, eat or die trying. The dog are waiting, testing. Will he complete the cycle, or end it? But before he can decide, another howl, this one, comes from the sky. A flaming tree crashes into the clearing. A third faction emerges from the darkness. Not dogman, not werewolf. Hybrid, half-shifted creatures with twisted bone structure, deformed claws, and no eyes, just glowing mouths. Constantly howling, echo-born, rifts-born, the result of bloodlines crossed, curses mingled, and glyphs broken, the consequence of the pact shattering. The battlefield erupts. Dogmen lunge. Werewolves charge. Elias is caught in the center. He grabs a piece of the witness stone's jagged, pulsing end, drives it into his own glyph burn. White light explodes. The hybrids scream. The forest shudders. Then black. If you've heard the howl, subscribe. You're already marked. Every curse has a beginning. Some demand an ending. Elias wakes up gasping. Ash falls like snow through the broken tree canopy above him. The clearing is scorched bodies strewn across the forest floor, steaming in the dawnlight. He's still holding the shard of the witness stone. It no longer glows. His hand, scarred. The glyph is gone, not burned, not healed, just erased. He gets to his feet, limping through the aftermath. Dogmen and werewolves alike lie dead or dying, but the rifts spawned. The hybrids are gone, disintegrated, as if they were never meant to exist. But something still lingers in the air. Not smoke, not blood, magic. He finds one survivor, the silver-furred werewolf from before, barely clinging to life, form flickering between beast and man. The voice is weak, but clear. "You ended it. The glyph, it pulled them back." Elias drops to one knee. "I didn't end anything. I just survived." The werewolf shakes his head. "No, you chose. That matters. The rifts, they were born from indecision, from broken truths. You chose." The werewolf's eyes glaze over, then close. Gone. A single dogman remains now. It steps from the shadows like a ghost, no wounds, no fear. It circles Elias, then places a clawed hand on his shoulder. No violence, just respect. And then, it howls a long rising call that doesn't echo but resonates. Like a bell in bone. Far away, other howls answer. Not many, but enough. Survivors. The war is over, for now, but the bloodlines still burn. Elias stumbles toward the edge of the woods. He finds a ranger outpost abandoned for years. Inside, he collapses against a cracked mirror. For a moment, he doesn't see his reflection. He sees Ronan's the original traitor. Then the image flickers, and it's just him, just Elias. But his eyes, still, flickering gold. The curse isn't gone, it's just been redirected, bound to him. He pulls out Maya's journal one last time. The final page has changed. Blood has stained the ink, but one line remains legible. He who bears the pact must walk both paths, beast and guardian. Curse and cure, the howl, must be remembered, or it will return. He doesn't smile, he doesn't cry, he howls. Camera pans out, Elias standing on the ridge, the red hollow below him, quiet, still, watching, but something watches back. Two glowing eyes in the trees, they blink, then vanish. One howl, one chance. Will he make the right choice? The forest is quiet now, but silence doesn't mean peace. It means the screaming is done. A week passes. Red Hollow is officially sealed. Government crews roll in with hazmat suits and fabricated press releases about wild animal activity and a rogue chemical leak. The official story: Elias Morrow suffered hallucinations from exposure to mycotoxins. They found his ranger badge. They found blood. They didn't find him. In a private archive miles away, dark, temperature-controlled. New file is added. Red folder. No title. Just a symbol. A split paw print inside a crescent moon. The Red Howl sigil. Inside the file, trail cam footage, satellite images, photos of glyph burns on stone, an audio recording of Elias's final howl stamped active incident unresolved. Back in the forest, night falls again. Somewhere deep beneath the soil, a stone pulses. Once. Just once. Then goes still. But the camera doesn't, because someone's watching. Not Elias, not the dogmen, not even a werewolf. Something older, and it remembers every betrayal. Like, share and subscribe, because next time, the howl may come for your street. And for those who hunger for more, step deeper into the shadows with our ultimate werewolf horror playlist linked in the description below. In the world of horror, the scariest things happen when you least expect them, and trust me, you don't want to be left in the dark. Welcome to the darkness.